Hello, welcome to this video learning program. In this occasion, we are going to learn English conversation for midwifery. The focus of this video is about lactational amenorrhea method contraception counseling. Lactational amenorrhea is a modern method of contraception that is based on the natural postpartum infertility that occurs when a woman hasn't yet resumed menstrual bleeding. What it means by exclusive breastfeeding is when the mother breastfeeds the baby day and night, also not giving any other food or liquid except for medicines, vitamins, or vaccines to the baby. We encourage you to practice and repeat after what the speakers say in the conversation. You can act as a midwife and ask for help from your partner to act as a patient after this video has ended. You can also restart and keep repeating the conversation video from the beginning until you are satisfied and excited with your own English skill. Then, without any further, let's get it started. Good morning, Mr. Herman and Mrs. Sarah. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Alright, how are you, Mrs. Sarah? What can I do for you? Do you have any problems?
Alhamdulillah, I'm feeling well. I think I haven't had any serious problems with my health.
Alhamdulillah, that is a relief. Are you able to breastfeed now? Has your baby been fussy?
Yes, I can breastfeed my baby now. My baby is starting to get fussy, but still manageable, miss. Here's the thing, miss. Actually, I want to start using contraception. But I don't want the long-term one, considering I'm not working currently. So, I prefer to use natural contraception.
Right. We had discussed about kinds of contraception on our last counseling, hadn't we? So, have you both agreed to use natural contraception?
Yes, we both agree to use natural contraception.
In that case, I will try to explain again about the contraception to make you more convinced with your decision. This contraception is called by lactational amenorrhea method. Lactational amenorrhea is a modern and temporary contraceptive method. It's based on natural infertility that is produced from breastfeeding. It occurs when a woman hasn't yet resumed menstrual bleeding and only exclusively breastfeeding her baby. For example, when you breastfeed the baby day and night and not giving any other food or liquid to your baby.
This method is safe, right, miss?
Absolutely. It is a hormonal contraception based on natural infertility. So, it won't need any equipment such as condoms or IUD.
That sounds convenient. What do you think, husband?
You may be right. Is there any requirement to use this contraception?
This contraception will only work in 3 conditions. First, if the mother's menstrual period hasn't resumed yet after giving birth. When the baby is nearly or fully breastfed by the mother. Lastly, when the baby is less than 6 months old.
What will happen if my period starts sooner, miss?
Whenever your menstruation begins, you won't be able to use this contraception. And you will need to take another option. Lactational amenorrhea method is very beneficial. It is 98% effective up to 6 months after the childbirth.
98% effective? We could say it's very effective then.
That's right. Lactational amenorrhea won't interfere sexual intercourse and has no hormonal or major side effects for both mother and infant. It won't cost you any money and requires no procedures or any exclusive medical observation.
If it doesn't need any special medical observation, is it alright if we don't do check-up frequently, miss?
It's fine, but if you need to check up for the baby and your health condition, you are still able to come whenever you like.
Alright, miss.
But I think you also need to know that lactational amenorrhea method has limitation as well.
And what is that, miss?
You should breastfeed your baby consistently.
Then, how often should I breastfeed my baby, miss?
Try to breastfeed your baby for minimum 8 times in a day.
Alright, I understand, miss.
In addition, for LEM limitation, this method only effective for 6 months until your periods resume. And it won't give you any protection against sexually transmitted infections such as HIV. So you need to pay extra attention to any sign of infection.
But I'm pretty sure that would be no problem for us. Can lactational amenorrhea be used by anyone?
Lactational amenorrhea can only be used by mother who meet the requirements of this contraception, who is still exclusively breastfeeding less than 6 months old baby, also who hasn't experienced any menstrual period during first 6 months after childbirth.
Oh, I see.
Women who don't meet the conditions as I mentioned earlier cannot use this contraception.
Then, how do we know when to use other contraception after lactational amenorrhea?
That is a good question. The baby has to start receiving food other than breast milk. And if you are no longer breastfeeding frequently, you can start to use other contraception. You can visit us again to discuss other contraception that you'd like to use.
Okay, I understand, miss.
Okay, so far, do you have any questions?
No, I think the information is clear enough, miss.
Lactational amenorrhea is a good contraception, and I think this method is right for Mrs. Sarah and Mr. Herman. Plus, Mrs. Sarah hasn't experienced menstrual periods yet, so it will work.
Alright then, we've made up our minds, miss. We'd like to use this contraception.
Before we end up this video learning program, let's have a look and practice again by repeating several important sentences that we have heard earlier. You will hear the speaker repeat several sentences and conversation each twice. There will be a transcript and gaps in the audio for you to speak in. Listen and repeat after the speaker at the second time to practice. Let's start. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? Are you able to breastfeed now? Are you able to breastfeed now? Has your baby been fussy? Has your baby been fussy? Right. We had discussed about kinds of contraception on our last counseling, hadn't we? Right. We had discussed about kinds of contraception on our last counseling, hadn't we? I will try to explain again about the contraception to make you more convinced with your decision. I will try to explain again about the contraception to make you more convinced with your decision. Whenever your menstruation begins, you won't be able to use this contraception. Whenever your menstruation begins, you won't be able to use this contraception. Lactational amenorrhea can only be used by a mother who meets the requirements of this contraception. Lactational amenorrhea can only be used by a mother who meets the requirements of this contraception. So far, do you have any questions? So far, do you have any questions? In the last part of this video learning program, you have learned about English in lactational amenorrhea method contraception counseling. Don't forget to keep practicing it with your partner, so you'll be able to speak regarding this topic in English more confidently. We will meet again in the next video learning program. See you and good luck!